Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast by OnCourse. Today, we have Krish Bhatija with us. Krish is a rising sophomore at Washington University in St. Louis, and he is planning to major in economics over there. How's it going, Krish?
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Akhil. It's going good. Yeah, had, had a good
All
cup
good in your
last
back?
year. Yeah, enjoying the summer now.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah,
How's the weather been in St. Louis so far?
I've enjoyed it. It was my first proper winter, so even when it was cold, I didn't have a problem. Towards the end, it got a little annoying because of like it just kept dragging on into March, like the winter.
Yeah.
So I was happy when it warmed up.
It does tend to do that in the Midwest, I guess,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think
I,
you're right. I feel like after your first winter, at least halfway through the first winter, you kind of get used
yeah,
to it. It's not bad, I
yeah.
guess.
Like
It's
you have to just learn to live with it. Like it's nothing too extreme. Like I could manage.
yeah, absolutely. No, that's
Yeah.
good to hear. And do you guys get many snow days?
Oh no, we only got a couple this year, but there was not a lot of snow. We like at least from what I've spoken to like people in higher years, they said we're supposed to get a lot more snow this year.
Yeah.
There was just not much. We had a couple of snowstorms, and that was it.
Good stuff, good stuff. And what do you think of St. Louis generally? Are you liking it? It's been a
As
year.
a
I know.
city, yeah.
Yeah,
So I've not got to explore the city as much as I would have liked to, but it from what I've seen, it seems quite interesting. It's quite spaced out though. That I feel like that's the only real problem with it. Like you need
absolutely.
a car to get places, and I didn't have a car myself, so then traveling around gets a little inconvenient. But there's always things to do. Like now, it just got an MLS team, so
Yeah,
that'll be fun. I got to go see a game last semester, which was good. Yeah.
that's
And then
good.
there's always other stuff going on in and around the city as well. So I really like the city. Yeah.
Would you say, I mean, as somebody who's, gone there from Bombay,
Hmm.
would you say that, you found a good level of activities off campus, a lot of like, restaurants you like and those kinds of things?
Yeah. So compared to Bombay, obviously it's a big difference. Like
Mm.
especially in the way the city is. Like I
Yeah.
think overall there's around 3 million people, and that's spread out over a much larger area. So
Mm.
like finding stuff to do that you enjoy can be a little difficult initially, but luckily for me, I had so much to do on campus and like just off campus. There's a lot of like places to go and things to do. Like there's a lot of nice restaurants in and around campus, which I went to quite a bit in my freshman year. So yeah, I think it takes time to figure out exactly where to go in and around the city is like right now. But I think in a year or so I feel like in my yeah next year I know my friends are getting cars, so I can just go along with them, explore more, find more places.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
And I mean, I'm thinking back to when I was in college. I'm also thinking back
yeah,
to, a lot of other people have told us.
yeah,
I'm guessing more than, the places to go to, the company matters more, right? The friends you're with
yeah.
matter
Of
a bit.
course.
So would you say you've settled in, you found a good group of friends to hang out with?
Yeah, so I think initially I think I was the most worried about that, not like academically, and I was mainly worried like how I'd fit in because there aren't a lot of international students, especially from India, going to Bosch U. But
Yeah.
yeah, I found like everyone there to be really supportive, and then there was so much diversity within the college. So even within like my year, so it was even though there weren't that many people like from India, there were people from so many different parts of the world and people who had lived in so many different places that it like I felt right at home there, and everyone was so like welcoming and happy to make friends. Yeah, and I think even my seniors, so like my seniors from India, like they reached out to me. They wanted to meet me in my first week or so and to make me feel comfortable and make sure that I had a good time settling in and just like not being too overwhelmed with the whole situation. Like I knew I could always go to them when like when I needed to, and now they're some of my best friends there.
That's good. That's good to
Yeah,
hear. And yeah, I guess a lot of, especially parents, can panic a bit when there are not
yeah,
too many kids from India, going into your batch.
yeah.
Did you feel like, that was a concern you guys had, and was
So
that?
yeah, so it was a concern more so for my parents than me, because eventually when it came down to me picking which college to go to, it was between WashU and Tulane. So neither
Yeah.
of those colleges had too many people from India. So from
Mm.
like from a decision making standpoint, that sort of cancel each other out, right? We both
Yeah.
have similar numbers of
Agreed.
students,
Do you
so
feel like
that
you would have
way.
gone? Do you
So,
feel like you would have gone to, like, so like Tulane, Washu is of course much higher ranked.
hmm,
Tulane is, on par with like BU or Northeastern, colleges in that
yeah.
range. Um,
Hmm.
do you feel like you would have gone to like a Boston over St. Louis if it was a lower ranked
Uh,
college, or was the level of
no,
Washu just?
so for me, St. Louis as a city actually, I feel like that was better for me because I didn't want to be in an area where, like, in a city that's like a city as big as Boston with so many colleges and universities like in and around the area, because I felt like I'd be a bit too like distracted by the city and by like the opportunity to go to different colleges themselves, and just like I feel like, yeah, I wouldn't get as much done. I wanted to be in a city the size of St. Louis, like where, okay, if I really need to, that I can go into the city, and I do go into the city, but it's also not like a necessity where every weekend, like I go into the city, try and find different things to do. But yeah, and also obviously, like you said, Wash U as a college, like I felt like it was too good of an
Too good to turn
opportunity
down?
to turn down. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
fair
that
enough.
fully.
I think most people would have probably taken WashU in that case. I remember you had gotten a big scholarship from Tulane, so
Yeah,
that probably made it harder to turn Tulane down. But
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a tough choice. Yeah.
yeah. What do you feel made your mind up for? It was just the level that WashU's at.
So yeah, that was a big difference for me, and also the entire culture at WashU. From the people I've spoken to, like I realized everybody there is like super focused, not like completely focused on their career, but like everybody is like really focused on their career, their future, and just making themselves the best version that they can be. Whereas I felt like at Tulane, I would have been a bit too laid back and not been able to push myself that extra mile, which here I definitely feel like I am like pushing myself as much as I feel is right, and like it can get me to where I want to be in life.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess New Orleans is an interesting city to get
Yeah,
distracted in. Um,
yeah,
so, so I don't blame you there.
yeah.
Although you definitely gave up some of the best food in the US by not
I
going to
know.
New Orleans. So I guess you win some, you lose some. But
Yeah,
uh, but no, that's good in a way. Being at WashU it's a good way to say that most people will stay on campus even on the weekends. That
yeah.
must
If not,
contribute. Did you? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So yeah, even if like not on campus, you're just nearby, and you like. I always like, at least for me, like I know it works the Sunday the entire day, no matter what. Like I'm just studying, catching up on stuff, making sure that I don't fall too far behind, like in any week. But and I felt like I noticed that like a similar thing with a lot of my friends at WashU. Like even if, like people want to have fun and go out, but it's also like your academics do have a major role.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, and also, especially in your first year, and I'm going off
Hmm.
of my own experience here, I feel
Yeah,
like my college wasn't in a big city either.
yeah,
It was close, but not like so close that I could just go there whenever.
yeah,
So I guess in that first year, you tend to stay on campus. I kind of lucked out in terms of, my roommate and my people I had on
yeah,
my floor. Do you feel like, you got a good floor in your first year?
yeah. So in terms of like, I agree with you. Like with the roommate, I feel like I got really lucky with my roommate. Like
Yeah.
he was quiet, clean. He did his most of the time. Like he did his own thing, but I was
Hmm.
still like good friends with him. Like we'd still go get lunch together quite often, and then like if he, but like we respected each other's space. Like I think initially the first week or two was a little hard, but then once we sort of got used to living with each other, it was really easy. Like I was like we we just figured out what the other person likes and doesn't like and just managed. And then like initially it was just like, managing to live with each other, but like after the first month or so I really started enjoying it. Like, and then
Yeah.
also like yeah, like on my floor also like there were a few people that I got really close to, and I'm still like really close to them now. And that I feel like is just luck again. Like I know people who hated everyone on their floor, and I know like one of my friends, most of his friend group just lives on the same floor, so it's a it's hit and miss.
Yeah, it can be. I
Yeah,
know. I've
it
heard some
can be.
horror stories as far as
Yeah,
roommates are concerned, especially when when you go from maybe living in your own bedroom and in your own house.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
there's not only is there a almost a layer of security in your own room, then you got your own
yeah,
house outside that, which
yeah.
in your first year in a dorm, it's just your room on a floor. So
Yeah.
I guess
It's a big shift.
it is a shift. It
Yeah,
is absolutely. But because obviously you would have figured out your housing for your second year. Do you
yeah.
feel like you're going to be living with a lot of the same people who were on your floor now, or have you found some new
Oh,
room?
so like with I found different people to live with, even though I really enjoyed staying with my roommate. That was mainly because, so like I'm staying with two of my best friends, and they're both from India, and my
Okay.
roommate, he's Asian American, so
Hmm.
he didn't really want to stay with three Indian guys, which I think it was too much of like a culture shock for him. So he's staying with his friends, and now I'm staying with my friends. But I feel like
Hmm.
yeah, it'll be a little different in terms of how everything is, because people won't be like as welcoming and as open initially to make friends, because in like freshman year everybody wants to just make friends, hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
But I think sophomore year it gets like people will still want to be friends with you, but it gets a little more like quieter. Everybody just sort of wants to do their own thing, hang out with the friends they already have. Because most people are living with their friends in
Yeah,
sophomore year.
absolutely. And are you like, were you sharing a double room in your first year?
Yeah, I was sharing a room with
Got it.
with
And
my roommate.
now, when you guys go in for
So
your sophomore year, you guys have a
hmm,
single bed.
we have single rooms, but it's in a suite. So you have like four single rooms and one shared bathroom.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. I feel like that at least gives you your own sleeping and studying
yeah,
space, right?
yeah.
So I'm
It
guessing
I feel
it's a good
yeah.
transition.
It's a good shift. Like I still get to
Yeah,
live with my friends, but I have that privacy. Like I have my own space within the suite to just disconnect from everyone.
got it, got it. And what are the weekends looking like at WashU? I know that,
Hmm.
sports-wise, it's a Division 3 school for
Yeah.
NCAA, but
Hmm.
is there a big fraternity sorority life over there, or are there
So
many on campus?
so fraternities and sororities aren't the biggest thing on campus. So I joined one myself, but
Okay,
I yeah, but they
which
aren't.
one?
It's a Theta Xi.
Nice.
So it's not like there's no like necessity for people to join, or people aren't like really pushed to rush or anything. But for me,
Hmm.
I just felt like it would be fun, and like there's a lot of other international students in my fraternity, so that's one of the main reasons I joined, and I got along really well with most of the guys. But other than that, on weekends, I feel sports like within the college aren't really the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, a big part of it is that it's a D3 school. But so for me, I play squash for the university. So like my weekends are occupied a lot of the time with training and all. Even my weekdays, like
Yeah.
training does take up a good part of my evenings in the week. And also on the weekends, I try and just like either go for a run, or like if I have the time, or just train a little more, because especially during our tournament season that gets a little hectic.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
guess the good thing about that though is you get like a community within a community there
Of
with your
course, yeah.
sports, right? So that's like a whole whole other group. I know the
Yeah,
athletes love to party as well.
yeah.
So
So
I
for
guess
us,
that's,
it's yeah, like because I mean technically we're a club team, but we still like the university still like sponsors our travel and stay.
yeah,
So
of
we
course,
don't
yeah.
like we aren't like officially recognized athletes. We're just playing for fun.
I guess that's the best case scenario.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
you,
what. Like
yeah.
yeah, like I know like there's a couple of guys on our team who train once or twice a week and then get free trips each semester to play for the university.
Yeah, I mean, you're living the dream. You don't even know it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying like a big part of the reason why I joined the squash team was just the chance to travel. Like
Hmm.
over this last year, I've visited Chicago, New York,
Oh,
and Philadelphia just for free. So I mean, I'm not complaining.
yeah, no
They're willing
complaint.
to sponsor it.
Yeah, you get to pay. I'm guessing you have a bunch of friends from
Yeah, that's
school who
I
went
have
to college.
friends. Yeah. So I have friends in all three of those cities. So I got to just meet them after a long time, and then it was just fun, and also getting to see new places is I really like that.
That's good. Also,
Yeah.
since you mentioned the frat,
Yeah.
I'm guessing you must have, did you pledge first semester or second semester?
No, second semester.
You pledged sex. You've just been instated.
Yeah, I've just finished that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And I guess a lot of people, I know that Theta Xi is a social frat, but
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people give those things a negative connotation.
Hmm.
What has been your experience? I know there's a big pledge
Yeah.
culture. Fun part of it is a thing, but what do you feel?
Hmm. So for me, I going into it, I knew that like in terms of like hazing and all, they could like they can't do anything too extreme
Hmm.
because just the culture within the university isn't like that. Like it was all like everything was like everything that could have been, like anything bad. They were like, yeah, it's purely optional. Or most of the time they're just like, no, like we won't do that.
Hmm.
And it's like it was on it. The entire process for us was more like getting us to bond with each other
Hmm.
and the brothers within the fraternity more than like trying to embarrass us or make us do horrible stuff. It was stuff that would genuinely make you closer to the other guy, which is what I feel like. I'm like a lot of the other guys that I pledged with, I'm like they're some of my best friends now, and like I really get along with them. Like initially, I thought like I was a little confused, like going into my second semester, I didn't think I would end up joining a fraternity. I thought like, but then one of my friends just convinced me. He just like come out, see how it is, and I just went for it. I really enjoyed it. Like there was no point within that process. I felt like it distracted me from my schoolwork or like it,
Yeah. Yeah.
pushed me beyond what I was comfortable doing.
I mean, I suppose the pledging process can be the most distracting, at least in the
Hmm.
mainstream situations.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess for the most part now you have that brotherhood.
yeah.
What a lot of people don't talk about is how much that can help with networking later on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because these things go back generations, and you
Yeah.
never know if you're applying for a job somewhere, you have, a brother from a previous chapter,
Hmm.
maybe in the company you're applying for. Have you already had that experience of running into somebody outside of WashU
So
but from the same fraternity?
not yet because yeah, I've just started the process
Yeah,
of applying for jobs for next summer. So that
yeah,
and because this summer I wanted to come back to India, so I didn't
yeah.
apply to any jobs in the US. But for next summer now, I'm looking to apply for jobs within the US for sure,
Fair
and
enough. Fair
hopefully I
enough.
meet some of
What's
them.
what's the plan? What's the plan with job? I mean, I know it's not
Hmm.
as fun to talk about, but
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
So right now I'm looking at a lot of different things. Trying I'm looking at consulting and investment banking mainly. I feel like those two seem really cool and really like, something that I would enjoy. And also sports management, that's something within like one of those three things I think I'd be happy with for next year just to try out because honestly I'm not like too sure what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I'm just exploring different things right now. seeing
Okay.
what sticks. If I don't like, if I try out something, realize okay it doesn't work, I won't like try and do that again. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's just like, I feel like if I'm not sure right now, so I don't want to push myself into making a decision that I'll regret in the future. I want to do what makes me money and makes me happy, but
I know. That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe the first will make you the second in a way, but
yeah.
right. But or maybe the second will make you the first. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it,
right.
yeah,
But
it
no. But
depends.
I think just generally, one of the good things you have done. I believe you have a 4.0 GPA, right?
Yeah, in my first semester I did.
Yeah, and so one of the things that helps you're doing an economics degree, which is it's a very popular choice. It's something that
Yeah,
everybody's heard of, but
yeah,
also something which keeps all these options open. Like
yeah,
a lot of people ask, what do I do after an economics degree? The answer is usually
hmm,
pretty much anything within business.
yeah, yeah.
so so that's good. I feel like there is a good appreciation. What have you thought about the econ program at WashU?
So I've really enjoyed it. Like, I've only finished the intro classes so far, because like there was a little, like there was just, they didn't give me IB credit for any econ courses. So I had to basically sort of redo it. So it seemed quite easy initially. Now next semester I'm taking three higher level econ courses, which all seemed really interesting. But
Okay.
like as a course as a whole, I think it's really well structured. Like they make you take four or five classes, and then after that, it's just completely dependent on you to explore whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So, like if you like completely hate macroeconomics, you can get away with taking, like obviously you have to take like intro to macro and intermediate macro, but after that, you can get away with taking classes that are more focused on what you want to do. You don't have to like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
become an expert at everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
They let you pick whatever is best for you and your future.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with something as broad as econ, usually there are plenty
Yeah,
of electives that you don't end
yeah,
up
that's
doing just because you don't
yeah,
have the space to take them, right?
yeah. Yeah,
But
that's what like.
what are some of the fun ones you're planning to do?
So in terms of econ, I'm planning to take a class called Labor in the Economy next semester. I feel like that'll be really cool. Like
Hmm.
I feel like, yeah, it's just focused about how basically labor and the economy are connected, and how that's evolved over time, and also like how it's going to affect us in the future. Then I'm also like pursuing a second major in finance. So one of the main things that I wanted to look at there was like the world of how the worlds of sports and finance combine. So I'm taking a class called the business of sports, which basically goes it goes through like sports. It gives gives you a good introduction to sports management and how that's used
Yeah.
in in different fields, and like it also talks about the role of the media and different stakeholders within sports management and the business of sport.
Good stuff. So this class
Yeah.
will be within Olin, I'm guessing,
Yeah, that's within Olin. Like finance as a second major is, and
is within. Yeah. So that's
econ is not through Olin. That's through outside.
yeah. So will you be getting two degrees or will you be getting one degree with a double specialization?
So as of now, it's one degree with a double specialization. But if I really wanted to, I could move to 2 degrees. But that's a lot. I feel like 2 degrees is a lot of work, and it restricts the classes I need to take a little bit because I have to
Yeah.
complete all the requirements for two different schools.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
I think you'll also realize that having the double major in this case is not necessarily of getting great value,
Yeah.
because or not the double major, but the double degree,
Yeah.
because they're within similar spaces. If they were completely
Exactly.
different
Yeah.
things, if one was a finance and one was like an engineering or something,
Yeah.
then that's very stressful, no doubt. But I can see
Yeah.
the argument for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But
Yeah.
no, I think this has been good. I mean, we're
Mm.
obviously very happy that you're
Yeah.
liking what you're happy you're doing
Yeah.
well. Happy that you found a good group of friends there, and more than a group of friends, you've now got a brotherhood to fall back
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
congratulations on getting that. Um, and I guess, just before we leave, obviously we'll probably be in touch with you now that you're in Bombay. But just before we
Yeah.
leave, we have a few quick fire questions that
Yeah.
we can close off with.
Yeah.
Cool. So, okay, so question one is, you worked with OnCourse for 2 years,
Hmm.
profile building applications. Describe the
Yeah.
application process in one word.
I think the best thing would be rewarding. Like, yeah, I think that's the
Rewarding.
best.
Okay, I guess getting into
Yeah.
college helps with that.
And
So,
yeah, the feeling at the end of the process, like you
good. That's a good point.
decide a
That's a good
big
point.
part.
You
Yeah.
definitely worked hard. You definitely worked hard.
Yeah.
So rewarding
Yeah.
is fair in this case. Okay.
Hmm.
Summarize your first year at WashU in one word.
One word. Oh, yes,
Or you don't have
incredible.
incredible.
Yeah. It,
That's good. That's
yeah,
good. Any
it's been.
regrets?
I think the only slight one would be just not putting myself out there as much as I could in my first semester. Just like I feel like everyone's looking to make friends. Just sort of, I wish I could have got out there a little more, tried to make as many friends as possible while also focusing on my academics and squash and just everything else.
Got it. But you feel like you rectified that already in your second
Oh yeah,
semester?
yeah, for sure. I feel like socially it's become a lot better now than it was
Fantastic.
at the end. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. What's the best class you've taken so far at WashU?
So it's a class called Safe Asylum, which was about migration in the Middle East and North Africa. So I have a history of that, and then also like it discussed a lot of issues related to migration and how how people's viewpoints around the world differ and how they need to be changed. So it was a 2 semester long class, and then it was supposed to end with a trip to Morocco and Italy to actually see like migrants and like talk to them and explore different parts of those countries. But I didn't end up going because
Okay.
like, it was yeah I because then it would have meant I came home like early June, which was too late for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess would that fall within poli sci, or does that class fall within
Um,
history?
it falls within a lot of things, I think. So officially, it falls under Jewish, Islamic, Middle Eastern studies and
Okay.
political science, and it counts. I don't know if it counts as history, but it's there in like a lot of different departments, the same class. So yeah, I was
Fair enough.
surprised when I was just scrolling through different like classes available. I just saw this same one everywhere.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that is a very multidisciplinary course, but
yeah,
no, that's good. That's a cool one to have taken. Okay, and
yeah.
let me throw out one last question to you. What has been your favorite meal in St. Louis so far?
Ooh, so there's this place called Katie's. It's a pizza place. I've been a couple of times with my friends. I really enjoyed it. It's really good pizza
Yeah,
and
what
like
do you
great
get?
pasta as well. I got a pepperoni pizza there. It was just
Standard,
yeah.
standard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't want to explore too much. I hadn't eaten like really good pizza in a couple of months. So I just thought
that's because you were
it'd be
freshman.
safe.
Sophomore year, you'll get some
Yeah.
new top.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
solid. Well, I mean, thank you so much, Krish, for
Thank you for
being on
having me.